after all. Like, based on the stats, based on what the results are, both are having really great run. But I'm looking at RSG right now. Of course, they got legendary names. Who doesn't love LY for on his really talented sort of picks? And of course, he's still one of the best marksmen on the table so far.
Personally, I do think that Resurgence, I would have to agree with Resurgence here, because like the previous lineup, like they were definitely lacking in a lot of areas in terms of just pure chemistry. But now with this version of RSG, they are looking very solid overall. But let's jump into the picks and bans here. You know, Kajak Show being on blue side bans, Team Bosskurr banning out the Atlas as well as the Farsa allowing Resurgence to get Natalia for free.
Well, that's really interesting. Like, they knew how to actually open up that sort of a pickup tier, but knowing that Bosskurr right now, of course, let this sort of be Natalia's slide off, I'm not too sure what exactly is KZP actually saying there, but he seems very, very happy that this sort of draft is kind of working towards his side. But, you know, Bosskurr, they're actually picking very tanky composition to try to fight off RSG's Natalia.
I think maybe Resurgence might be going for the Uranus here as well. It is one of their highest picks. Maybe not now, but maybe later. It's one of their highest picks from the regular season.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I'm looking at RSG and what the core lineup is looking like right now. They've got they've already pretty much selected their 2 supports here. They don't exactly have tanks. I'm not entirely sure how they're going to play this out, especially against Team Bosskurr. Because Team Bosskurr could easily look to be like, you know what, I could, instead of going for multiple supports, I could go for double tanks. I could play the Lolita if I absolutely have to. And with the help of the high loss ult, it's just going to be an even more difficult game. So I don't really know how RSG is going to pull this one out, because Team Bosskurr, their lineup in terms of composition just looks so much better.
Well, I do think that, of course, Bosskurr is actually crafting even better now. Now that Too Easy for Depth, previously from Geek fam, is joining in, and he's been streaming yesterday, and then he's having fun. He says like, "Hey, maybe I can actually pull off the 4-4-8-4 Hong Kong style in towards Team Bosskurr." So, of course, in towards this matchup against RSG, but not too sure if it's joking or if he's actually all too serious about that. But we're already looking at towards a Kufa ban, which KZP usually picks that sort of hero in towards this kind of matchups. So Resurgence's turn to actually negate one more hero. Who would that be?
Most likely they're probably going to think about getting rid of some off-laner picks, but there's quite a number of them, and I doubt it was going to be Cho, but Export definitely a little bit understandable, but that means that Team Bosskurr, in terms of who they have options of, they could go for the Cho, they can definitely go for Uranus, but locking in their mid-mage makes a lot more sense.
Team is picking.
Yeah, and of course, now that they've got that Lunox here, it's going to be KZP looking to secure Grok, which is being left out by Bosskurr. But of course, in terms of mobility, there's quite high mobility on the side of Bosskurr right now. Whether if they open up the wall charge or so, shouldn't be too much of a worry for them. But we're looking at a very highly picked Tamis across. But, you know, it's time to whip out that hammer here as they are going in with this Terizla.
I am so confused as to what the compositions from either side really... I mean, we know what the composition wants to do, but I'm not entirely sure whether it's really strong in this particular patch. I feel like RSG is going all in on the pick potential. They're going to be using Grok to kind of scout out the area, Selena and Natalia to get the initial pickoffs. But Team Bosskurr, on the other hand, locking in the Terizla just to kind of brick wall the Thalmos instead of using a Uranus to do that job. So that's a little bit interesting coming in from Team Bosskurr.
And of course, we're about to get ourselves ready for that first game. Well, Faras, we gotta get that hype coming in for this best of 3.
Oh yeah, man, this is gonna be the first game, and I gotta say, I really want to see Resurgence's draft work out really well with Selena and Natalia. They need to really focus on getting those early kills, because if they don't, it's going to be quite troublesome for them to actually be coming online later on. But it's up to both of you to see what the story of this game is. Resurgence and Team Bosskurr, let's go.
Now, first, We're about to actually open things up here over on the mid lane. Debs is just scouting up ahead as Jason Cole spots him out and says there's not going to be any horses in those bush. Of course, grazing on those grass. And yeah, KCP is going to be possibly taking out this or recamp right between the river.
Yeah, a very nice start coming in from RSG, but it looks like the game pause is going to be called here. But let's kind of talk about like how RSG kind of opened up their starting position. Well, not really starting positions, but their starting area of control and lane assignments, because they sent 4 people into the mid lane to potentially get to feed off information to make a decision. Can we actually go for an invade? Yes or no? Can we actually look to punish one of the buffs? And they realized very quickly the moment Hylos was in that rush to face check them and Jason Cole jumped on him. It's like, all right, we can't actually go for it. So let's go for the mid wave and then look to pull back. And Bosskurr, they saw what was going on. All right, no worries. 4 people in the mid lane. We can actually go for the buffs and we don't have to worry about it too much.
Yeah, of course. Your take on this, Faras? Yeah, I see that you're agitated and got something to say about this first game.
Because I remember specifically, I played with my friends this Natalia and Selena combo, and again, I just want to mention this: they actually can be really powerful early game. If they manage to land the arrow from Selena, Natalia can just, if she's invisible, she can actually go ahead and they can take kills again together very well. But at the same time, it's going to be hard to pull off. I mean, basically, if they landed on Jawhead or Hylos, it's going to be quite hard to catch kills. On Claude and Lunox and Teresa, maybe it's possible. I do want to see them move in really fast. I feel like that's what they should be doing, but I don't know if that's going to happen right now. And we are back into the game.
Yeah, like at this point, RSG is looking to play off of a very big snowball here, which is very scary to do because remember, Team Bosskurr, their composition scales hella well, like especially against RSG. I don't think they'll be able to make it towards the later stages of the game, even though they do have LY4 being their marksman here. So Jason as well as Sync have a lot of work ahead of them. Looks like they're gonna have to kind of hold their ground here. Aaron, you still with me, my brother? Looks like Aaron may have disconnected here, or his mic might be muted. But let's just kind of go with the flow here until we get Aaron back onto the call. Now, RSG holding on their side, but Team Bosskurr looking to make something happen here. They're noticing that a lot of RSG members are hanging towards the bottom side of the map, so they want to keep control. Xeno actually failing the flicker there, forced to move forward, and welcome back.
All right, no, that was my but I'll be here to support you, brother. Yeah,
no worries.
I'll be here to support you. Oh, looks like they're going down on Jip.
No, it looks like they're gonna commit to the fight. Too easy for Jeps. Has to quickly drop down the Revitalize to keep by himself some time. But again, Bosskurr, they don't have the items to take out KCP. They're forced to pull on backwards. Lexia going in pretty hard. He's got double buffs. I get a little bit confident, but he still needs the Demon Hunter sword. Sana is going to get punished here by Zaraki, but again, not enough damage.
Exactly. I think that's a good thing about Tamos here because he can just solo everything on his own. He can make sure that he can survive throughout the lanes. And right now, this is the sort of pickoffs that we were talking about with Natalia and Selena actually going in to try to take some kills. But like you mentioned, it's actually very dangerous because Bosskurr, they have the potential to come back very easily because of the heroes they have.
Yeah, but also notice the EXP. Oh, Aaron, you're back!
Yeah, I'm definitely been actually sitting here. I just want to test out Farah's capabilities, of course. And right now, back into the action here. Thank you so much for covering for me, of course. And we are looking at RSG already securing that first blood pretty much greatly, as Execute's definitely on their hands, but they are taking the section here by the corners of the river and hoping to actually be able to actually get a little bit more gold from here. But members of Bosskurr, they're definitely ready to actually steal this buff away if they can.
Jason, he's going to be going down here. The ejector is going to pull him through. He pops the smoke screen, but he can't really do anything about the smart missiles, as well as the ring of punishment coming in from Too Easy for Jep. So Natalia is going to go down. It looks like Resurgence is going to have to kind of hold the ground or at least delay the turtle because Team Bosskurr, they rotated very, very early for this. Does anybody have Retribution? No, just Executes. And yeah, KZP in the backline, he tries to steal away, but he doesn't actually get the Executioner strike. Does secure that kill, secure onto Turtle here, but Sana holding his ground, unable even with the Vengeance. He gets a little bit of health back, but not enough damage to actually get that, finish off that backline here. can they actually go back in? Jason coming in for a very big flank, and let's go! And he gets secures on the first kill, gets ejected backwards into the blazing duet. LY4 trying to turn this around as Sync there to follow up. 2 executes down, 3 for 1 actually in this particular situation. One more hit on Tacino. Can Sync do it? No, he cannot, and it looks like he's going to be giving up his life. A 2 for 3 trade in favor of Resurgence, but Bosskurr already got what they needed.
Wow, what a fight over on the mid side as we look at Resurgence actually pouncing on the back. Of course, initiated by the side of Jason Ko that saw that burst going down. And with that being said, Sana secures that first turret, but he's getting flipped, ejected all the way back. But Zaraki, though, he's getting exchanged, and the Natalia saves his life. The flicker coming out from the side of Logan. 1 tap is all it takes, and of course, this is going to be his 2nd kill of the game.
Pretty worth it. It looks like both teams really want this win. You can see the eagerness to fight and outplay their opponents. Great flicker coming in Great flicker coming in from Logan there to pick off Sana. Sana was holding his ground very, very nicely until that final moment here. But yeah, as of right now, Sino is getting caught. They're going to execute him instantaneously, like Farah said, with the Selena Natalia combination. He's got to be more aware of his health total because he cannot be below 75%.
That's right, and of course, the reason why this is so effective is because Natalia can actually look up ahead on how they can actually line up the shots, and right now with the fight going on over the side of Bosskurr, it's crazy for Dep trying to actually tank off all these sort of hits, and now he's going to knocking him off the wall with the wall charge, and of course, on the back, it's going to be a blazing duet, not really hitting all too much with all these members of RSG as they take 1 kill on the back, but Jason Ko cutting from the back though, he's trying to look for opportunities to assassinate, but it won't be enough for now. But Resurgence, of course, getting back on track.
Yeah, and it looks like they're trying to set up a dive down on bottom side. They understand that Turtle is going to be gone for sure, so we're going to clear out the wave here, and maybe look to dive Thamos down on the bottom side of the map. Resurgence, playing on the opposite side, wants to maintain control, but remember, they're on a very big timer. Sana easily dove under the tower. Kazipi is thrown away with the ejector, but the wild charge still being held up. Lexia is going to go in with a battle mirror image to secure the kill. 2 free kills given over to their opponents. And now Jason wants to get a free kill onto Sino, but Sino knows better. Knowing that Selena is rotating down to his side, he preemptively flickers to dodge the Abyssal Arrow.
Yeah, really great dodges coming out of him, and so far Sino's been working out with that sort of Terisla so far. And as for the rotations coming from the side of Resurgence, it seems to be that they won't be controlling a lot of the mid side as well as top. Well, they're trying to actually break it open for now, but here comes Jason, almost actually assassinating him, but it looks to me that that will be the order's build has been popped, but instead they will be able to actually get claws. So it's a 1-for-1 exchange coming from Bosskurr as well. Too easy for Def. Tries to actually hop over the wall, but they are getting chased out. Santa will not let him escape. Mega kill going for LY4 as they choose to dive in towards Zaraki, and it's a double for LY4. 5 kills already on the RSG marksman.
Yeah, but notice that they have to profit off of the situation. Topside is getting shoved in pretty hard. Sino is compensating for the fact that his team are making mistakes, and Lunox gets insta-killed there. And Sync, now with his Calamity Reaper, is one big boy.
Yeah, and of course Sync, once known as the best mid laner of Singapore, maybe still am right now, was going to be able to actually land one more shot on Sino, but hey, not going to be taking out Terisla anytime soon, as we are having Jason still on the prowl. Maybe be able to actually take this buff, but there's a little bit too much pressure from Bosskurr. They will have to give this one away while they focus on towards the turtle instead.
Yeah, and you can see that, you know, Resurgence is playing as if they have compound interest. Like, the longer this game drags out, the more gold has come out of Logan, and they're going to look for their second target, Sync, but it looks like they bit off a little more than they can chew. But keep your eyes on LY4, because he is a ticking time bomb here. Expect a lot of crazy fights at 10 minutes.
Yeah, and we've already seen a lot of all these review big plays coming out inside of Jason, though he does sacrifice his life, but for the better cause, we're definitely looking at LY4 already hitting level 15 soon. While we look at Logan as well as Lacia, they are levels below him for sure. So he can easily just dive right in, get somebody, and just walk out alive. So this is going to be pretty much dangerous for Bosskurr, but they are actually holding up just fine for the time being.
And remember, we talked about win conditions for both of these teams. Team Bosskurr just have to stop the bleeding. They're doing a good job during the mid game, but as we slowly transition to the later stages of the mid game, and arguably towards the late game as well, it's not looking too good for Team Bosskurr. If RSG can close out this game within the next 2 to 3 minutes, that would be perfect. But Team Bosskurr, it's a complete opposite. They need to hold on for at least 5 minutes if they want to come back into the game.
Yeah, and of course, we're looking at possibly the time being spent right here. Pretty much a lot of all these minutes being stalled up while KZP faces so many of all these members of Bosskurr. I think that eventually he will have to go down, but they will get one tower instead.
What?
So here comes Sana, though. A lot of all these sort of things have already been expended, but LY4 now faces a 1 versus 2. He's actually turning it around alongside with Sync, and they're looking for Logan. He's getting shredded up, and this is going to be that battle here. And one more tap here. Of course, Logan will have taken him out, but he is still surviving. And with that being said, we'll be able to actually find that kill. Natalia takes down not only one over on Saraki, Jeff will give his life on that sort of jungle ambush.
I think that was the perfect example of how ahead Team, Resurgence is ahead of Team Bosskurr in this particular game. They hit their item power spike, they take the fight, they almost pretty much insta-win despite the fact that LY4 got caught off by the unstoppable force as well as the ejector, which to me is super surprising because any other person would have instantly died there. But again, the lead is just a little too big. They're trying to turn this around, but Team Bosskurr, they are just giving up too many advantages to Resurgence. And now that Lord is coming in, it just means that Team Bosskurr, instead of 5 minutes, have extended it to 7 minutes.
Yeah, and I'm looking at how this Lord's going to be knocking on their doors right now, while KZP, of course, will be able to actually secure those buffs. So, look, as it stands, the goal differential is almost hitting 10k already, and I'm not sure. They really got to find a way to actually turn the fight around, but maybe they need to actually take a counter engagement instead of going for those sort of a hunt against Resurgence members.
Well, honestly, I personally think that Team Bosskurr should have been a little bit more aggressive in the earlier stages of the game where they were trading kills 1-to-1. There were times they're too easy for Jeps decided, you know what, I'm going to just drop down the battle spell instead of plopping down his ultimate into the enemy team and allowing and trusting that his team will be able to clutch it out. Because again, they are very ability based, and now that their tier 3s are going down, the inhibitor is gone. Can RSG find the advantage that they're looking for to close this game out?
Still not having enough minutes over on the mid side here, but that Lord will be able to actually open up the bottom side. Oh, Sano's getting stuck. This is looking pretty bad. And oh my goodness, here comes Noah4 getting a legendary. Well, too easy for Depth tries to actually go in for a chase. He cannot do all too much, but now it's RSG's turn to actually defend and first push them all the way in. They've already lost Zeno as well as too easy for Jeff, so it's time for them to actually walk right in to take down the topside tower.
This is looking so good for RSG. They can take everything here. They literally outnumber Team Bosskurr, and that's what they're gonna do. Sana, he has the immortality. He's waiting for his abilities to come back up before diving them one more time, but it looks like they're gonna make the call. All right, we've taken all that we need. Gamin and Ice just being bought by too easy for Jeff, just to kind of slow down the attack speed coming in from LY4, because right now, LY4, it's too big of a boy for Team Bosskurr to handle.
Yeah, and of course, they still need a lot more time for Logan as well as Leisha. Especially Logan, I'm looking at him sitting at level 12, and he shouldn't be on any sort of a low level at all for now. Of course, eventually, if they can find a way to dive in towards LY4 safely, then maybe they will stand a chance. But for now, of course, they've already sent Zaraki as well as too easy for Jet a couple of times to get it towards the back line. But yet again, LY4 time and time again survives, and he's already at full build as we speak. 14k of gold.
Oh God, he is literally 7k ahead. Sorry, you know, if you want to be exact, it's going to be technically 6 point something k, but let's just round it up here. 7k ahead of their Claude, and they had 4 masks. Like, ooh, a very tough game for Team Bosskurr here.
Yeah, of course, already looking at Sync here, trying to actually set things up with a Abyssal Arrow. It does hit, but it's a little bit too far of a distance to cover, while RSG will possibly take a little bit of waiting for now. And they don't have to worry too much. The Lord is actually coming up online in perhaps half a minute. So, with that being said, this is Team Bosskurr on that back foot, trying to actually pull back, or perhaps if they can actually find a way to steal that Lord away and walk away scot-free, then maybe they might have a chance. But Resurgence most likely won't give them that sort of the leeway at all. But here comes too easy for Jeb, already getting stunned up, and of course 7 more seconds to go before we see them marching right in. But LY4 trying to actually take Jeb, and he cannot even move!
Oh god, that damage from Sync single-handedly just cutting through him like butter, but still giving the kill over to LY4. Like, what does he need at this point? He's fully kitted out.
Yeah, of course, it's just him just taking down the tankiest member of the side of the Bosskurr while KCP already in that sort of the territory, and now Wall Charge is going to be looking for the Claude. This is looking very good here. RC can actually end this right then, right now, and only Xeno's going to be left, and he's going to be popped out as well. This is going to be a team wide, and Xeno won't be dropping down for a second time coming. Resurgence close the game out, and within 15 minutes, 42 seconds for game 1.
They're not taking any chances here. Well played to Resurgence. They played a very clean game. Yes, they were.
Yeah, now down to the final battle between both Team Bosskurr versus Resurgence here. We're about to witness one of this team advancing in towards the upper semifinals, while somebody will have to fall in this nature of the competition in the MPL Season 5. And of course, for us, you gotta take a pick here. Who do you think is gonna win this one?
That's such a hard thing to say, but for me, I think I actually prefer Resurgence's draft, personally. If they manage to pick off a few kills early on, and I still think Uranus is such a great pick going into this meta still. We saw that in the previous game, and hopefully we can see the Uranus protecting the entire team alongside with the Kufra, but we'll just have to wait and see. I'll want to pass it to you guys right now.
I mean, honestly, for us, you know, with Uranus being almost literally the hitbox of the size of a planet, I cannot imagine him not being able to do the job.
Yeah,
I agree with you, bro.
Of course. We are looking at the Uranus, of course, clearing the way the fastest, heading in towards the corners here. Maybe we'll be able to proxy as well, but both sides are actually defending their buffs relatively well, while LY4 will be able to actually secure this one in the back for sure. A little bit of that sort of respect for territory, as both sides really don't want to take too heavy of a hit, but Sana does receive too much of that damage though.
Yeah, he is very susceptible to a dive here. I would expect Team Bosskurr to actually look to punish this on Uranus' side, but, you know, we'll see whether or not they reach the level 4s fast enough to call for the dive.
First, now we are looking at Jason, hoping to actually do a little bit something here. Of course, Birds of a Feather does flock together, while KZP hoping to actually spot out Jeps. Of course, getting greeted with a little bit of that sucker punch. So far, they're just basically farming up. No sort of contest whatsoever within the span of 2 minutes, but that's about to change right here. Jason already hoping to actually steal that sort of the room crap away, while KCP here possibly will have to let that slide.
Yeah, you can already see the different style of play coming in from Resurgence here. They're playing a lot more calculated, they're playing a lot more careful, they're giving a lot of respect to Team Bosskurr here. They're not making rash decisions, they are just playing the game very objective based, and if they get a catch, they get a catch. But you know, I feel like Team Bosskurr have kind of predicted. Oh, Zaraki getting a great engage onto LY4. He manages to get out with the help of the Battle Mirror image, and Resurgence look to retaliate but don't find anything. Oh man, LY4 just forced to recall instantaneously there.
Yeah, and we're looking at KZP, of course. Some of all these players of Resurgence are just making sure that they do not commit any sort of a flaw in this early game. But so far, we're looking at the gold graph here.
Turtle
Almost
resurrecting
bit even,
soon.
but Bosskurr says maybe a couple of $100 richer right there.
Yep, and it's a very small lead, but we're just gonna have to wait and see how Resurgence really wants to punish Team Bosskurr here, or even the other way around, because at this point, Team Bosskurr must be really invigorated after their win, and I don't know, these professionals, they like, apparently they really like these long games.
Yeah, of course, we are just hoping to actually get something out of this, but Jason, of course, baiting Sino in towards the trap, while the Predator airstrike has been released, but oh my goodness! It's Jeps here with the first blood, as that really long rotation definitely paid off for them. Well, LY4 getting himself that boot, so he can easily walk out of sticky situations. While Sana getting a little bit of pressure here. Oh no! KCP hopping right back in, and members of RSG, they are forcing flickers, and oh my goodness me, Jeps with the second kill, and they have gotten 3 kills in the bag, with also Sana and KCP out as sort of V5.
You know, this is a very new situation. Well, it is relatively new situation for the side of Resurgence here, because usually they're the ones with, especially in this best of 3, they're usually the ones being the aggressors, getting those leads. But now, Team Bosskurr actually have found a lead. Can they push it all the way through and really show Resurgence how it's done?
Yeah, it seems to be that they've definitely run on that high that they have actually acquired from that really long bout, and Bosskurr hoping to actually advance even further in towards the semifinals, and we haven't seen that for a very, very long time, and this is definitely the best time for them to shine. Already having 3 kills, they are looking to open the top side of the map as well. While KCP trying to actually catch the Rocky, but Leisha, of course, showing a little bit more strength right there. It's Japs there with most of the kills as a tank. It's almost not legal, of course, but hey, look at him. He doesn't care. He's just going to be smacking down over on the side of KZP and just walks away.
Yep, presses that get out of jail card free with a wild charge ultimate, pulling him straight on out. Now, I want to see how Resurgence kind of plays this from behind, because remember, Sana, oh boy, he's not as tanky as he thinks he is, and Sino is in a very good position here, especially since he's so close, but the bait has been coming out. Sino, he doesn't have any options of getting out there. Great flicker coming in for KZP to secure the kill, but the rest of Team Bosskurr looking to go for the punish. This might be a very big fight, as they are slowly peeling backwards, looking to disengage, and they only find the Uranus, so they trade 1 for 1. A very nice Abyssal Arrow from Sync landing onto Logan in the back line.
Turtle resurrecting soon.
So that being said, at least they did pull 1 back on track, but here comes LY4 trying to actually survive out of it. Of course, we'll be able to actually hop out in time. While Federal Airstrike, just to make sure that they're out of this sort of jungle territory, but Jeps can easily just disrupt them from inside of this brush, while Team Bosskurr secures their second turtle of the game.
Yep, and now Team Bosskurr in a very clear lead against Resurgence here, 5k, and I want to see whether Team Bosskurr, do they have that, you know, finishing power to end this game for Resurgence really, really strong and continue on in the upper bracket while knocking Resurgence down to the lower. Because remember, Resurgence made a huge comeback against Team Bosskurr within the regular season itself, so it's kind of like reverse karma here for the side of Resurgence.
Yeah, and it of course feels pretty bad in that sort of way, but well, let's see whether or not the result will still be as such. But well, LY4 has got himself that Demon Hunter sword. Now, Bosskurr is in prime position to actually secure that bottom side of the tower, and it seems like Resurgence will have to give it pretty much for free.
Yep, they just have to give it up. There's nothing they can do. They don't have the positional advantage, and now Zaraki right on top of KZP initially, and now LY4's in trouble. He quickly pops out the Blazing Duet. He gets out with the Battle Mirror image. The backline's in trouble. Jason dodging the cold destruction from the Aurora. That could have been a really great pickoff for Team Bosskurr, but Resurgence disengaged from the fight. They need gold, and they just don't know where to find it at this point.
Yeah, right now, with that being said, empty jungles, the only way they can find gold is through the bottom side, which currently is pretty much empty. Sana has already bought enough time from the top side here, while Bosskurr tries to actually defend for a little while. 22 more seconds to the next Lord. Maybe if they can get a good collapse right here, might just be pretty much giving them a little bit more of that sort of goal lead back in towards FA.
Yep. And, you know, too easy for Jeps. He's definitely going to have to play a little bit more disrespectful against RSG just to kind of get them into the mindset. And here is the bait. The rest of the team is here. Team Bosskurr, they come in with a very big cold destruction. Doesn't land on anybody. KZP manages to survive with a sliver of his health. But now, they don't have a hard engager for this turtle. Can they steal this away as the Rocky gets a good catch on the LY4, flickers right into him with the unstoppable force as well. But LY4, quick fingers, gets out of the situation. Team Bosskurr get themselves another free turtle. Lexia takes a little bit of damage from the feathered airstrike, but Bosskurr are looking in prime position to take this series away from Resurgence.
Wow, and of course right now they're the ones actually taking about 6.5k if I'm looking at this sort of the goal scores correctly. Of course, love all these players here right now rotating inside. Jason doesn't seem to be able to actually get all too much of all these sort of strike. And KZP though is in trouble, and there we have it. And Leisha's gonna be able to actually secure a second kill. Now looking for LY4. He's forcing a flicker away. Only one more time to actually take out Sino, but he cannot return back in towards his battle mirror image. Of course, Saint will actually land that abyssal arrow, but it will not hit anything at all.
Yeah, Resurgence is just trying to slow down the bleeding here. Like, KZP had a really good engage there. However, a lot of the spells that help them get out of there. Ooh, a pretty good pick off there for the side of Resurgence. You know, some kind of retribution at the end of the day. But I don't know. This is not looking too great for either side here.
Yeah, of course, Team Bosskurr not really having the cleanest of play, if I must say, as some of all these sort of these skirmishes look to be pretty great because Jep was actually leading the pack, and he's actually changing so much of all these things ever since he joined Team Bosskurr.
You know, he is always going to be that, you know, consistent tank, constant playmaker, innovator himself, and he's really shown off his capabilities in Team Bosskurr alone. You know, from a team that was struggling to get out of, you know, that the 9th place position within weeks 1 to 3 of the regular season to a team that actually made it into the upper bracket. It's a pretty amazing feat.
I definitely must have said that with that being the great acquisition of this first split. Here comes that sort of team fight here. RSG hoping to actually flush out members of Team Bosskurr. That's going to be a great catch for Leisha, but Leisha goes on the field spree before he goes down, and that's going to be a flicker coming out from the side of Logan as well. And oh my goodness me, LY4 will have to face off against Jeff, but he might actually get those damage done. There is still going to be a tower right in front of them, but I missed out. Who exactly got the Lord?
I'm not entirely sure as well. I was too distracted with what's happening on screen here, but it looks like Resurgence was able to turn this around and steal the Lord away on top of getting 3 kills, profiting 1 kill in trade for 2. So, not bad for Resurgence, and I think this is the moment where they can actually even out the score. Look at that goal lead. 1 bad fight from Team Bosskurr and a sacrificial engagement from KZP with a very quick Tyrant's Rage flicker, netting his team a free team fight. Like, wow, really well done from Resurgence here. Team Bosskurr, they have to defend this, but again, I'm expecting this to be a long game, like a 20-minute game at max.
Oh yeah, look at the pace that they are playing. Things are actually changing. It feels like a little bit of that switcheroo going on, and KZP, great catch over on towards Zeno as they open up the top side. Now, 5 versus 4. Looking great to actually taking down one more turret, but instead they are looking to rotate towards the bomb side, where the tower is pretty much fractured. They definitely will be able to actually get this in jiffy, but looking at the scores, that one fight, like you mentioned, the difference is only about 1,000 right now.
Yep, they've caught up so significantly off of that one fight. They stayed calm and collected, and they got a really good play coming in from KZP. So well done to them. Team Bosskurr on the other side, they've got to be a little bit more aware now, because notice that Resurgence have kind of stepped up the tempo now that they've kind of evened out the score. They're being more aggressive now. They're making sure that Team Bosskurr can't just walk in and out of the jungle as they please, like Zaraki here, who face checks the brush and gets punished for it.
Of course, so much of all these harsh punishment for the side of Zaraki, and now this comes to the challenge here. Debs now trying to actually force them out. Wall charge being forced away, but oh, great ball coming through! But look at LY4, he's diving on the back, looking for Logan, but he will flicker away. And LY4 eventually bites the dust, but great damage is put out by that main marksman of RSG. Now Cito is going to be coming right back, but now that they have lost their key member, they are pulling it back from the side of RSG, while Cito coming in to race through, but there's still going to be Sana going on that split.
Just look at the chase coming from Team Bosskurr. Like, they know their win conditions. LY4 is down, and now all they have to do is take everything away from Resurgence to create that lead once more. But look at it on the top side here, as Zaraki has to deal with his Uranus, and he doesn't have a lot of options to do so. Sana is dancing circles around him right now, and I don't think Zaraki can fully commit to killing Sana at this point of time. So he's calling the rest of his team.
Oh man, this is going to be a cat and mouse chase, but eventually Sana will be locked out. Oh, purifies it off while he's buying so much time. Look at the rest of Resurgence. They are coming through the bottom side, and now it seems like Sana is going to be safe. Wow.
Yeah,
home run for Sana.
Again, that's the beauty of Uranus. He can get out of a lot of abilities with his ultimate, the Consecration as well. On top of the fact that he has a Purify, I must add that. Because without that Purify, he probably would have gotten caught much earlier into this game. So, you know, as long as Resurgence is running circles around Team Bosskurr and not allowing Bosskurr's aggression to net them an objective, I think they can, you know, really come back and maybe even look to backdoor Team Bosskurr at a certain point of time. Hopefully history doesn't repeat itself.
Oh yeah, and now, of course, this leads me to wonder, that sort of pass change did not nerf Uranus, but it's still pretty much going to be a very prominent tank right now to actually be dealt with by a couple of these from the other picks. But now we're looking at Feathered Airstrike coming on, and Depths kind of fight a little bit too much more than he can chew. And here comes LY4. He's actually revealing himself with a sort of a blazing duet, and he will get that kill upon Debs. While RSG rushing right in, looking for Logan here, while Cito tries to cut the wave. Cito getting stuck in between. He still has immortality, buying a little bit more time, but the waves are coming right through. RSG now gets the green light to knock on their doors, and RSG will leave it pretty much racking up in the mid lane. So Rocky falling really low, and Cito now tries to buy a little bit more time. Immortality out, but he will drop for the second time. And now RSG looks for the lore.
Yep, and this is what they... Honestly, I'm a little disappointed because Team Bosskurr, they should have expected it, but instead they ended up falling into Resurgence's hands there. But don't worry, they still have another opportunity. They can easily defend this lore considering that they have a carry, and this is only the first, the second Luminous Lord of the game. So it's still, you know, still manageable. After the second one, it gets a lot harder.
Yeah, it gets even rougher as it goes, and of course, LY4. So far, he actually times his ults very, very well in towards those fights. And so far, none of the members will be able to actually catch Sync currently, as Team Bosskurr is now struggling to defend their waves here. A lot of all these sort of the minions are coming through the mid as well as bottom side, and with the Lord as well. They are actually balancing the waves all too well, and Resurgence here, ticket to book for the semifinals.
Yep, it looks like they're trying their very best to do so, and you can see KZP in the back just making sure he's face-checking those brushes by trying to engage in just in case somebody's there. And now they're gonna crash all the waves together here as they look to try and end this game. They're allowing it to go by. However, that's not the idea. They just want to take inhibitor turrets. They're not looking to force the they're not going to force the crystal. They're just gonna play like, you know, very, very methodically, very, very textbook. No risks taken, only profit.
Oh yeah, speaking of profits here, that will be a big profit to take down Zeno with a mega kill going on, and Sana right in towards the back line. Another one bites the dust as Sync gets his killing spree, and now we're looking at RSG will be able to actually advance and towards the upper bracket semifinals of the MPL Season 5.
Yeah, I'm sure they are so happy here for the side of Resurgence playing